Hey there! Today, the moon continues in Scorpio, where we are doing the work of feeling and healing, doing that inner work, that deeper transformational work. Just as a reminder, the outer planets are all retrograde currently, so that means we are doing a lot of inner processing. So we're processing maybe what's going on in the world around us, but specifically how that impacts us, how we feel about it, what it means for who we are, and how we live our lives. So today we continue that processing work, and then the moon goes into Sagittarius, where it will be over the weekend, bringing in a little bit more expansion and perspective. I'm Marina Orms here with your Astro Vibe for Friday, September 26th. So, as time continues on, the moon is waxing and will be moving through those later degrees of Scorpio. So, finishing up that Scorpio work. And Scorpio really is about the sacred. It is it is the need to honor the sacred within ourselves, the sacred in the world around us, to have that sense of respect and reverence for nature and the bigger world and our own process and role within that. So, let this deeper work trickle deep inside of you. Let it percolate through you and take some time to rest or just be, or get that time in nature, that time with art, that time with the deeper places of mystery that helps you to process things at deeper levels that you may not have the words for. Scorpio is about feelings. It's about what stirs below the surface in that realm of where we cannot see. So it's important to recognize that we don't have to have words for everything. And of course, as we complete that work of, it's been a big, intense week, we can think about our deeper needs and what we're learning and how we're changing and what is evolving, and just having that um, recognition that things are happening below the surface. That's true of the collective as well. There are things moving and happening below the surface that we can't see. And so instead of basing all of your decision making or thought process on what is at the surface, recognize that there's a lot going on that we don't see, that we don't know about. And that means that the things we do in our day-to-day lives make an impact, and there is a connection there. So it's some of the mysterious ways that we move in the world, which, it may not be all that mysterious. When we show up in kindness, when we show up with creative solutions, when we show up with the idea that we can figure this out. There are possibilities that might be starting to surface, might be starting to emerge. But again, trusting that what is unfolding, what is moving below the surface, is something that you can participate in, you can shape, you can be part of. And I'm thinking about things like how you are in making a difference or an impact in your own little bubble, your own sphere, by being, a force for kindness and caring, but also in believing in humanity and believing what's possible. So when you show up in that way in your little bubbles, that ripples out, and that is what I'm thinking about in terms of movement below the surface, right? These things that can, connections that can be made, and ways that we have of shaping things that haven't maybe surfaced just yet or haven't shown where they're going. But as we know, when we have a little seed under the ground, if we give it care and water and nourishment and good soil and all the things it needs, it can germinate. It can become something that we will later on see. So that's my point, is that the way that you show up in your daily life, at your workplace, in your family, with your children, your grandchildren, your grandparents, the ways that you show up make a difference. And that is part of that under the surface movement of energy and shaping and creativity, those forces of creativity that we can participate in and be part of. And anything that makes you feel good, that's your litmus, right? If it feels good, that's what you should do more of. That's what you should continue with or invest in so that it can grow and expand. Anything that doesn't feel good, sometimes we need to work through some stuff that might not feel so great, but other times we need to recognize that's not a good, healthy place for me to be. And so making whatever changes or adjustments we can to support ourselves in doing this deeper healing work. And again, coming back to the personal and how we are transforming at that deeper personal level, what is showing up for you in your inner world, in your below the surface inside job. That is where the work of feeling helps you connect with healing. So, healing in your life helps you to be happier, but also more able to make a difference, more able to be part of various kinds of solutions. So, following that thread, trusting what feels good, what feels right, what feels true, doing more of that. And also those little impulses, those little instincts. Scorpio is very instinctive. It's inviting us to follow those little impulses we get to follow up on something or pursue something or move in a new direction. Trust that. Trust that deeper inner wisdom because it is speaking to you. And when you give it the right healthy soil and the water and the nourishment it needs, it can germinate and help you to ultimately blossom in a new direction. Then later in the day, and I can get you the time here, the moon goes into Sagittarius. So 2:36 p.m. Pacific time. Maybe that's not later. I don't know. Anyway, middle of the afternoon for Pacific time, 2:36 p.m. The moon goes into Sagittarius, where it will be for most of the weekend. So we have now moving into that energy of expansion, bigger perspective, an ability to have more, vision to see the bigger picture of what is happening and see things more clearly, get that bird's eye view, and also consider, and we will be thinking about over the weekend, how we want to frame our beliefs, right? What is changing about our understanding and how we see things and how we talk about things. So Sagittarius is the philosopher. And so it's how we think about things, how we understand the lens that we view things through. So, what are you learning about that bigger picture? What is emerging or evolving or changing for you? Again, if nothing else, bring it back to that place of respect for your own process, trusting your instincts, trusting your impulses about what you need, about what is true and right for you, and following that to see where it leads you. I'm Marina Orms. You can learn more about me and book a reading at astrologyheals.com. Thank you so much for being here, and stay with me and hit the subscribe button for more astrology for unshakable self-care. And we will follow this moon cycle and continue to look at what it brings us as we go forward. Thanks for being here, and I will see you next time.